Hello, this is the Tryline Podcast. I'm your host, Beau. This is my mate, Danny.
Hey mate, how are you?
Good, mate. We talk about a bit of rugby league. What are we going to talk about this week?
This week we're going to be talking about the referees and some of their horrible calls over the weekend. I'll start with a
Yeah,
couple.
they were
Um,
dreadful.
they were. So I'll start with the first game of the week. Jaden Sewer, he got sin bin for a high contact. Um, some would argue that it was a sin binable offence. He hit him high, and Lachlan Lewis wasn't able to return to the field after failing his HIA. And
Yep.
Junior Paulo charged for tackling someone. Unfortunately, he got injured, but it's a contact sport, so yeah. What are you going to
No, well,
expect? People get injured.
he got injured and he got charged, and all he did was make a tackle.
Mm.
That was just dreadful. The Jaden Sewer one, I didn't even think it was a penalty. I can understand if he makes contact with the head, maybe a penalty, but there's come on, man, definitely not 10 in the bin. There was a couple others on the weekend. Obviously, an obvious one was the Jackson Paulo one where he put his foot out.
Oh,
Like that was pretty bad.
yeah.
But in my opinion, that's the touchy's fault. That's not the referee's fault.
Yeah, true. I agree with you there, mate. I agree
Yeah.
with you there.
And the last one, the one that I actually think was one of the worst, and the head referee actually got it right. The Raiders challenged the decision of the Raiders player kicking the Warriors player, and they kept and challenged it. It went to the video, and every single person that watched that video seen the Raiders player kick him, apart from the video ref. The video ref said, "Nah, there's no contact."
Mm.
So I just don't know how we all watch the same thing. Everyone watches the same video, and they see something different to all of us.
We'll never know what goes on in the bunker, mate.
Well,
Never
get
know.
me in there, I reckon. Just get me a start in there. Anyway, what goes on in the Rabbitohs sheds after this game? That's what I want to know. The Bulldogs end up beating them 26-16. Geez, the Bulldogs were fantastic in this game. The Rabbitohs had everything to play for. The Bulldogs really didn't have a lot to play for. They run harder. They tackled harder. The Rabbitohs just the kings have beaten themselves.
Yeah, they definitely are. Not the Dragons, the Doggies there, they had some good goal line defence in this one. Josh Jackson, he stopped Cam Murray a couple times. He was over for a sure thing, for certain. And then Jed Cartwright, what was he doing? What was he trying to do? Just fall over the line, mate. You're halfway there. Just fall over. But he tried to step the fullback and he lost it. But yeah, they're just their own worst enemy at the moment, the last couple of weeks.
I thought good on the Bulldogs for doing that for Josh Jackson. I thought he probably could have been sent to the bin about 3 times in that game for slowing down to play the ball in try scoring situations. But Josh Jackson, I won't say a bad thing about him. He's a great bloke, great competitor, and good on them. The Panthers end up smashing the Cowboys as predicted, 32-12. They wrap up the minor premiership with this one. They win their 14th game in a row. Unbelievable effort from this side. They've been so strong for so long. And the last time they won the minor premiership in 2003, they went all the way and they beat the Roosters in the grand final. Could history repeat itself this year?
Maybe. I definitely think they'll be making the grand final.
Yeah.
Especially with that left edge looking pretty lethal now. On the weekends, Jerome Luai, Kikau, Crichton, and Josh Mansell all scored a try. So they're looking pretty dangerous down there.
I think at the start of the year too, it was all Cleary and it was all the talk was who's going to partner him in the halves. But Jerome Luai has come into his own. He scored like in 6 games straight or something. Like he's playing outstanding, and he's just really stepped up this year, I think.
Yeah. Well, good for him. Well, do you think it might be time to arrest some of their players now? They've locked up the minor premiership. Not much else to play for.
I would be. Their coach said they're not going to. He's been saying that for weeks, but I don't see why you wouldn't. Especially Cleary of all people, give him a rest going into the semis. I reckon. Actually, you speak of resting players. I think the Eels should rest players next week. Now, bear with me, okay?
Okay.
I know they have to they probably have to win to lock up 4th position. But why would they want to finish 4th and go play the Panthers when they could finish 5th and play the Sharks, towel them up week 1 of the semis without Sean Johnson? Then you never know, they get a bit of confidence out of that. They bounce into the next week. I think it's a good idea.
Well, I mean, it could be. I mean, I don't know. The Sharks, they haven't been looking too bad over the last few weeks.
Sean Johnson's gone, though. That's their attack. That is 100% their attack.
Oh, they don't got, what's his name either, that Chad Townsend for a little while longer, so they'd have to play that Connor Tracy in the halves. Something, I don't know.
I don't think they're going to beat anyone of worth, especially without Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson is the heart and soul of their attack. Anyway, in this game, the Eels beat the Broncos 26-12. Eels always looked in control. Clint Gutherson had another big game. He's had a great season. Any chance of making that big squad for New South Wales, Gutherson? I think it's a 27-man squad they can take in.
I think he could probably make the squad. I don't think he'll get a run though. Where would you play him? They've already got all the spots. I think have already been filled out. So I don't think you could play him anywhere. You can fit him in.
He's a bit unlucky considering New South Wales have such a good side. He'd probably be a chance for Queensland this year. And speaking of Queensland, David Fifita picked up a syndesmosis injury in this one, so he'll require surgery. That means he will miss the entire Origin series. Terrible news for Queensland.
Good news for New South Wales, though. Good news.
Well, bad news for David Fifita as well. So we wish him all the best. But
yeah.
All right, moving on. Seagulls 24, Titans 42. You can brand me a Titans supporter. All hail the Titans. It's Titans or die from me from now on. I'm on board all the way. Titans for 5 in a row. They're looking like they're going to finish 9th. I'm a fan.
Hold on. Who they got the last? They got the Knights to the last roll. I don't know about that.
Go Titans.
Okay, well, yeah, they played well. They played well this game. Mealy came out, scored the first try. Then it was all Gold Coast for the first half. Man, they were playing well. They were playing some good footy. You know what? I hope they do win against the Knights.
They're going to finish, one win outside the 8, right? They've won 5 in a row. You wouldn't believe it. That game they bloody lost to the Sharks when Kevin Proctor bite lost them the whole season. It was 12-all. They were coming to get him. Kevin Proctor bites Sean Johnson on the arm. They lose that game. Now they'll finish a win outside the 8. And they would have beat the Sharks, who would be on less points now.
So they'd be in for the Sharks.
They would be in for the Sharks. If Kevin Proctor doesn't bite Sean Johnson, the Titans make the 8.
Hold on. It would be...
They'd be on 2 less, and the Titans would be on 2 more, and they'd be playing for a spot this week. And the Sharks have got the Raiders this week.
Okay, yeah. So yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, all right.
So Kevin Proctor, come at me, bro.
You don't want that.
Sorry.
You don't want that.
All right. Storm beat the West Tigers 50-22. Storm put 50 on the Tigers in this one, but I don't want to talk about their attack. I want to talk about their defense for a second. Are we worried that Melbourne have conceded 19 points a game in their last 3 games, 2 of which against the Tigers and the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Is that worrying?
I think that is worrying. A lot of it's, I'm pretty sure a lot of it has been down, on the right edge defense, I think. Is it the right? Yeah, the right edge defense. They've tried. They had to put Justin Olam there. He had to slide over to the right edge because I think they were looking all sorts over there. I was listening to some of the commentators on the weekend. Last week, that's where they leaked points, and that's where they leaked points again this week. They tried Eisenhuth, Nico Hines, and then this week they tried Justin Olam. Nothing seemed to be working, so I don't know what's going on there. They'll have to definitely fix that up before the finals. Otherwise, they might get found out.
Yep, we got Nathan comment here. He said he asked, would you take Pap or Gutho into camp?
Perhaps a Queenslander.
No, I think he's a New South Welshman.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he played. Yeah, he played under 20s for New South Wales.
Oh well, the more you know. I'd pick. I'd have to pick Gutho.
I'll take Gutho too. A guy from my old school, Jordan Palmer. Thanks for commenting, mate. He's commented a few times. He said yes to something. I'm just going to say he agreed with me, and thanks for that.
Yes,
Thanks for that. You guys are in a little bit of a delay, so if you just want to comment what you said yes to, we'll be sure to discuss that. But I'm sure he just agreed with me on every point I've made so far. So we are worried.
What are we worried about?
We're worried about the Storm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. The Roosters beat the Sharks 34-18. Sean Johnson went down in this one. Pretty bad for him. He's had a pretty good season, and he's had a bit of a rough trot. The Roosters, they're just priming, aren't they? They're right where they need to be.
Oh yeah, and the milestone man, he picks up a double. He's now become he's now played the most games for the Roosters. What is that? 303 games, was it? I think it's 303. Yeah, he's one of the most underrated and versatile players probably ever. Good on him. I think.
I heard a story about him today. They spoke about it on Triple M on Sunday. That every time for the Roosters, every time his contract was up, he asked his manager to go to Nick Politis and just sign for whatever the money they offer.
Oh, really?
Never asked for more money. Total clubman. Just wanted to do his bit for the team. What a champion.
Good on him.
What a champion. Him and Josh Jackson, like two just people you need at your club, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I actually heard something similar about Josh Mansour.
Oh, really?
Did you watch that? It was on. I was on the Footy Show. Something after I think it was the commentators talking after the Panthers Cowboys game. They were saying that Josh Mansour got offered big money to go to another club, but he went and saw Phil Gould and said he's going to turn down that offer, and he'll sign with whatever the Panthers can offer him.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff. All right, last game of the round. No, it wasn't. It was the second last game of the round. The Raiders Warriors. The Raiders end up winning this one 26-14. The Warriors, for a second, they have impressed me every single time they've taken the field this year. Or almost every single time.
I was going to say probably not every single time.
From what they've had to go through this year, seriously, what they've had to deal with, they lost their coach out of nowhere. The coach had won 2 or 4 coming out of the COVID break. They sack him. And RTS, man, Jesus Christ, he's unbelievable.
He's a gun. He is a gun.
And he's injured now too. I wouldn't be surprised if he's very high up that Daily M list.
You reckon?
Yeah, I've got probably him or Teddy winning the Daily M.
Him or Teddy? Yeah, probably. Oh, I'd say Teddy. I can't see RTS being up there, mate.
How many weeks did Teddy miss this year, though? That's what it's about.
He's missed a few.
So that could hurt.
Yeah, he has. He's missed a couple though.
And RTS has played every game apart from he won't play the next one.
And
I'm telling you, every time they've won, he would have got 2 or 3 points.
I mean, you got to make a case there for Cherry Evans then as well.
Yeah,
every time they win, and they've won the same amount of games. Cherry Evans he's definitely played a big role in all their wins.
Yeah, that is true. All right, this is the official last game of the round. Like the last one was the unofficial. This is the official last game. The Knights bounced back with a nice little win here. The Safidi boys, Central Coast boys, they grabbed a try each in this game. The game was over with about half an hour to go. It's funny how much can change in 1 week. Last week, the Rabbitohs flying, the Knights falling. This week, the Rabbitohs lose to the Bulldogs, the Knights bounce back. That's the only game that's guaranteed for the first week of the semis is the Knights Rabbitohs. We don't know where it'll be, but it will be them playing each other. It's suddenly very interesting, that game.
Well, going off the last game, or the last game, the bloody Bunnies, they've had a shocking couple of weeks, and to top it off, they get done by the Doggies, and the Knights, they looked good. Could have scored a few more tries if bloody Tuala learned how to pass. Added a pass to his repertoire.
Well, if the Knights can win this week, they will play the Rabbitohs at Hunter Stadium. But if they lose and the Rabbitohs win, then it'll be at ANZ.
All right, it's all up to the...
If the Knights win and it's at Hunter Stadium, that is a very, very interesting game. Knockout game of the semis. Like, that could go either way. Depends what Rabbitohs side you get.
Yeah.
Because there is a Rabbitohs team there somewhere. When you sift through their crap, their drop balls and their penalties, there is a side that can win the comp. But they're not there every week.
No. They haven't been there for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So, very interesting last round, even though the top eight's wrapped up here, but there's still a couple of spots to play for, and there's a couple of games that people will be keeping their eyes on very closely. We'll be back here Thursday. We won't be live. We'll be on YouTube on Thursday, so check us out at Tryline YT.